Welcome everyone to the stream. I'm the Wombat of DM, and we are here again for session 5 of D&D. To summarize what has been happening so far, the group has taken on a job to raid this mine that they took a job for, and this basically mine has been infested with goblins. For the last couple sessions, they've been exploring these mines, fighting a few goblin patrols, finding various powders of suspicious nature, experimenting with those, and finding two ways down into the goblin mines. One, having a shadowy spell blocking the way, and the other, a ominous ladder descending into darkness. Both of which they have not explored further, but they did find a map in the vault that they have just recently opened. At this point, having expended many resources, the group is now deciding how they wish to recover said resources before moving on into dangers unknown. Welcome back, guys.
Hello, hello.
Glad to have a full party. Welcome back, Yarvik.
Howdy.
Hey, Andy, welcome. How are ya? So, as a heads up, for those of you who did not see last session, we were missing Yarvik, so he was an NPC. So, if he has questions throughout the session, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, I guess the discussion we have right now is, what are we doing about resting? The call has been made for rest.
Well, it sounds like no one really wants to take a long rest down here, so let's just take an hour, catch our breath. How about that?
That is what I would prefer also.
I'm feeling strangely refreshed. I'll defer to the group.
Belzian is super excited at the prospect of keeping watch again, so he agrees to rest.
All right.
Zippo reluctantly accepts the short rest.
Instead of the long rest. I guess Zippo's the only one that needs to recover spells at the moment.
Oh no, I'd sure like it as well, but
well, yeah, I and Jordan pipes up. He's like, I also have expended some spells, but I also understand the dangers of this mine.
It's like I'll just be shape watering everything.
We had some concerns about leaving to rest, because the goblins have been actively sabotaging the structure of stuff while we've been here. Otherwise, I'd be happy to just take the elevator out and make camp above ground. But I don't want to lock ourselves at the vault, and I'm not really comfortable sitting here out in the open for an extended period of time anyway.
I think if we're just doing a short rest, we should be alright here. It's only an hour, I mean.
yeah, Ulrich just goes ahead and takes a seat. He goes into the office, takes.
Down into the vault.
Yeah.
Okay. I will take note that due to Zippo's experiments, the area around the vault itself has an acrid smell to it.
Stinky.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I forgot there's like an office space down here. That's where he'll chill.
Where the table and the chairs and the two goblin dead bodies are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he drags the bodies and throws them off into the water. And
Okay.
then takes a rest.
That's another reason Zippo wants a long rest, so he can go back into his ring and put all these barrels and that chest in it.
Oh yeah, true. There is that advantage. If you can loot the barrels into the.
For further experiments, and that chest for further possible opening, and we just tell them we don't know what happened to it.
Are you telling? Okay, yeah. Okay, all right. I see what you're doing.
Oh, well, when we can get back, we can say no, it's not in there.
So here's the thing, Zippo. My question is, you can go into the ring once per day, right?
Yeah.
Now, for the 3 barrels, since they were smaller, you kind of leapt into the ring, like with 2 barrels under your hands, and maybe like one like you're straddling when you go in.
Yeah.
How are you gonna get 6 bigger barrels in at the same time?
That is a good question. Well,
We still have some rope.
I do have rope. See, so I'll rope tie those barrels to me, and then I'll just double hand grab the chest and just set my head on top of it, and then in.
I would say, based off of the inner workings of this ring, that it's got to be something that you are holding.
Probably, yeah.
So I think if you were taking a barrel, you'd only be able to do one at a time over the course of 6 days.
I just take the chest then.
The chest, you would be able to take the chest. It's about your size. Like, you'd be able to fit in it, but you'd be able to take that in like a barrel.
Yeah. So once we get a long rest in, sometimes later on, I will take that chest. That chest is Zippo's chest
Duly
from now
noted.
on.
So long as you remember it and don't forget about it and say, "Oh yeah, I totally did that at some point."
No, that's at the top of my mind.
Okay.
That chest, Zippo's only priority is the box of darkness and that chest. Because he wants them both.
All right, so we have agreed to a short rest. So go ahead on your character sheets, and I guess are we camping in that room that Ulrich's in right now, or are the rest of you going to be camping out by the elevator?
I am going to sit next to, but not on top of the elevator.
Okay. Anyone else?
Zippo, if possible, would like to set in the vault and just sit next to the chest.
Okay.
Belzian's just chilling a little bit west of the elevator.
Jordan hangs out with Zippo.
Yeah.
Traveling buddies.
Short rest, but
Ulrich's gonna hang out on the east side of the elevator.
All right.
I didn't know this, but a short rest gives me back my 2 pack slots.
Pack slots.
My pack magic slots.
Yeah, for your warlock stuff. I was
I didn't know
gonna
that.
bring that up, but
So you didn't need a long rest at all, except for your ring, then, right?
Yeah, I just need it from a ring.
Nice. All right.
They're pretty rad.
That worked out well. All right. All right. Who would like to be the person who rules the percentage die?
sure.
All right. Ulrich.
oh, hold up, I needed to roll 2 dice.
All right. Good to know. Thank you for that. An hour passes, and no goblins are spotted in your vicinity. I went under the preface of your passive perceptions because no one said that they were actively watching. But you didn't hear or see any signs of goblins. They're going to be pretty obvious to those of you who have dark vision anyway. These areas here are pretty long, straight hallways, right? So that helps. So now the question left is, what do you do from here?
Once we reconvene,
I
I
think. Yeah,
Oh,
let's-
and is anybody healing hit dice with their hit dice stuff before
Yeah.
we move?
yeah,
See,
I
Roger
rolled.
did, and
I
Ben
rolled 2
did.
dice.
Ulrich did as well.
All right.
I mean, we only have one direction that we're positive we can go down, so that's the direction we should be heading.
I actually would like to recover the magic item that casts the 30-foot radius darkness.
Zippo is very interested in that item, yeah. Like that is a top priority for him.
And just to clarify, Ulrich, you said there's only one obvious direction. Which are you naming?
Well, the obvious direction is going down the path that Ulrich's been trying to get us to go down forever.
which is
The ladder.
Which is
the ladder. Okay.
Yeah.
I think the big main entrance that the Mithril brothers blocked off is also a reasonable place to go. But
Yeah, but the thing I see is we take away the darkness, and then they just see us coming.
Yeah, we could do kind of like a loop around because that ladder has to lead to that room eventually.
Ulrich, Zippo, there are 6 of us. They're going to hear us coming, regardless of whether or not they see us.
Fair point. Fair point.
Right, but I guess what I'm wondering is, do we anticipate, since this is the path that presumably this is how the Mithril brothers communicated with the goblins, they would go down this way. Do you think they're guarding that more, or do you think they're guarding their back door more?
So, I would say that the goblins would be guarding the front entrance more, but I'm expecting a trap both ways. And I think we can escape better up a path than we can up a ladder.
Up this rickety old piece of shit that we barely can operate?
I can operate it just fine.
Yeah, but if you die, then we're fucked.
I'm used to being in that situation.
I guess what I'm saying here is to me, that seems like we're going this direction for your convenience, and if you die again, we're fucked. But if we go this other way, it's maybe an inconvenience to you because we all have to climb up the ladder. I'm just saying, if we're gonna retreat, also, that's fine. It don't really matter. We'll just get that magical trinket down there and cast it off if we need to make a hightail it out there.
Yeah. Even so, they could break the ladder from underneath you, right? Whereas the elevator will be a lot harder to break since the mechanism's at the top.
Isn't the ladder anchored at the
Hooked to
top?
Yeah, that's what I was pretty thinking there. It's anchored at the top, so if anything, we can break it out from underneath of us so they can't follow.
Or they could break
They
it
could
from
also
the top
burn
and
it.
strand us.
It seems like we're at an impasse between the two of you. So,
No, we're
What?
not, because we're just gonna go ahead and go down this elevator.
does anybody else have any desires or want to do anything one way or the other?
I don't like it when mom and dad fight.
If we are
Belzian is
going the-
torn. He can't decide because he loves climbing ladders, but he also is really interested in the elevator. So you can see he's looking a little bit anxious. I would go either way.
We can always retrieve the darkness item and then decide once we've seen what the actual entrance looks like.
Well, sure, but I feel like at that point we're just gonna be hightailing it, because the moment a big cloud of darkness goes out of sight, it's kind of like the lights turning on all of a sudden.
Do you
Yeah.
think that the goblins would bum rush us just because they can see us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't
I
hear
mean-
them last time going into that area. They've been pretty noisy.
Yeah, I suppose. In any event, I'm fine with going down here. I'm just saying, it seemed like a good idea to try to go down that ladder. Cause again, I'm one last little pitch here. Yeah, there are 6 of us, and I'm noisy as fuck. But you're silent, Roger. And if we get you down ahead of us to scout a little bit, before you know it, most of our resistance is gone. But if we go down this elevator, we take away that darkness. It doesn't matter how far behind I am with my clunky armor. They know what's coming.
Perhaps we could relocate the darkness to a more strategic location. Like the ladder.
How are we going to do that?
Have we considered that the darkness is not equal for everyone, as in, is the darkness one way?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was a defense mechanism.
It's magical. It blocks it even for those of us with dark vision.
It's a little trinket from the Mithril brothers. I don't think the word bros has been created yet.
It's an abbreviation.
Yeah.
I don't think
Anyway.
Mithril abbreviates to bros.
All right. Well, I'm good to go down the elevator, get that darkness, and carry forth. I just wanted to be.
I would like to get the darkness thing. We can go down the ladder afterward if need be.
Okay. So on the topic of getting the darkness thing, who are we sending in to get it?
Not as
Okay. Just if we want, we can do Zippo again, but we gonna need to tie that rope tighter than we did last time.
Ah, yes. What did you find in that darkness, other than darkness?
A pit.
How do you know it was a pit? It wasn't just
The rest
a big
of the
stair.
cavern.
he only fell like 4 feet before the rope caught him.
It's a pit for Zippo because he's 2 feet tall.
Yeah, right. Exactly. 4 feet's quite a distance for you.
It might just be a big step.
It's a jump.
So the object in question that you're looking for, just to recap from last session, is an item that was purchased at Magic's Magic. It's an object that emits darkness to a 30-foot radius, and it's set up so that it will be effective as a defensive mechanism in the lower level of the mine. You saw the magical darkness. Zippo followed the tracks down the passage until he fell off of a cliff and was fortunately caught by Ulrich's trusty strength before he kind of got yoinked back onto the landing and stumbled his way back into the light again. Does that sound about accurate?
That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
That's my memory of it. Yeah.
Right.
There might be some logistical issues in retrieving this. Now that I'm thinking about it.
The map shows where it's at, doesn't it?
The map does not show where it's at.
Oh, it just shows that it's down there. Okay.
I mean, we can do math off the 30-degree radius here.
Yeah. Somebody might have to do that for me. Zippo's not very smart.
We have at
All right.
least one person in this party who's able to read books.
That's true.
They should be
So-
able to help you.
So this magical item, it casts a sphere of darkness in a 30-foot radius. That's 30 feet around. So it would be about 15 feet into
To
the
the
darkness.
middle.
No. It would be 30 feet into the darkness because the radius is half, diameter is full.
Okay.
So it's 60 feet in diameter.
Okay, there we go.
Trusty DM. Always gonna fall back to him.
Definitely an object worthy of retrieving, even if it puts
Yeah.
some risk.
I visited Magic's Magic, and it is very expensive there. That guy's crazy. He's a psychopath for magic items, so they had to pay a pretty penny for that thing.
And here we are, not having to pay anything.
Exactly. And the
Most
chest.
excellent. And it even comes with a carrying case.
That is true.
So
Yeah, I gotta admit, I'm not wild about stealing from them quite yet, but if we find out they instigated this, well, fair game.
everything's fair game when they ask you to help them.
See, we also have it in our contract that we'll be paid for returning any tools from the mines. So
Yeah.
aside from the shovel and pickaxe that Belzian took.
Those,
He wrote a
well,
letter. It's
Those were-
important
He
to leave
wrote
a
a
note.
letter. And they don't know exactly what he took, so there might be some negotiation there.
Hey, did you read my note?
I did. It cut off.
I ran out of paper, but I think they'll get it.
Anyway, so are we going down the elevator?
Yeah.
I vote elevator. Let's
Yeah,
go.
looks like it.
All right, the group piles onto the elevator. Roger's gonna need to be at the helm.
Which one is the helm?
So you're faced with 3 levers once again.
Are you gonna make me look up how to do this in my notes again?
We determined that
I mean, you could
Roger
make an
was an
intelligence
expert.
check.
I'm gonna throw the clutch, which is the middle lever, and
Okay.
disengage the brakes there.
You hear a ka-thunk sound as the brakes disengage.
I'm going to put the right lever down.
The right lever down. All right. Tutun, tutun, tutun. You hear the elevator start to mosey its way down slowly through the passage, and you go 40 to 50 feet down. You're not sure as the rock just keeps going and going. And the passage opens up into the next level.
And when we get here, I'll pull the right lever back up and lock us in place with the middle lever.
Okay. Sounds good. So the passage is much the same as before. You see a wall of darkness to the east of you. The passage to the east or west ends and then turns off to the right into the platinum mine.
Okay, boys, let's get this rope together.
Yep, we take care of the roping of well, honestly, it should be you, Roger, that ties the knots. You tend to be better with that. I'll hold on to them.
I will.
And I'll go inside the darkness with you to make sure you got more slack.
Okay.
Sleight of hand again for tying the knot.
Yes, please.
Oh boy. Well, that's at least an average knot.
Okay. So, what's the plan?
Okay, so we know it's a 30-foot radius.
Don't take exactly the same path you took last time.
Yeah, no, I got that one. So
Yeah.
do we see where it like circles, or is it just looks like a straight wall right
It
now?
looks like a straight wall from
Okay.
the small amount that you see. Because remember, it's only a 10-foot passage.
Yeah.
And it's not very high either. It's probably about 10 feet high, too.
Instead of going down the middle, why don't you use the wall as a guide, right?
Yeah, are you able?
The rail as a guide.
That's a great idea. You could hug the wall.
So, from the maps that you've collected, you know that the wall curves to the north here and heads toward the entrance to the goblin area. There were 2 big doors and steps leading down to it that direction, but it's like 60 to 70 feet, or 60 to 65 feet away from the area where this would be. So it would be outside of the darkness in that direction.
So
Okay.
we're aiming for like roughly here or there or somewhere like this area here. I'm assuming what's happening here is that this is darkness that's being kind of sheared off by like a corner here.
All right. Ulrich kind of takes some steps into the darkness, as well, so that Zippo has more slack. So he'll be like, ish, kind of like keeping up against the wall.
Okay. All right, not scared at all. Not scared at all. Yeah, I guess Zippo will follow part of the wall. I guess he'll just like stick with it.
Whoa! Look out for that step there.
Farewell for now, fellows.
That's just a little humor because we can't see.
All right, so Ulrich, you move forward and you are following the wall. I'm gonna see what you see by clicking Control L.
I see this little wedge.
Yes. Yep,
yeah.
I see it. Yep. So, hugging the wall there, you see, or you feel that it continues on forward 5. So to the right 5 you can go.
Oh, he's only gonna be right here for now
Okay.
until Zippo tells him he needs more slack.
Okay.
Zippo will go past Ulrich and follow the wall until he feels like it's going just pure north.
How long is the rope between the two of them?
Assuming we use 5 feet to tie on each of them, it should be 50 feet left. Because I think it's a 60-foot rope. Or is it 50-foot rope?
It'd be a 50-foot rope.
50-foot rope, so 40 feet left.
As I'm saying, we can use the length of rope between them to measure how far forward we should be going to picking up this item.
Yeah. That works for me.
Okay, the wall has turned northeastern. It's more north than east here.
Okay. Zippo will get down on his hands and knees and fill out and go east for about 10 feet.
Go east 10 feet.
Yep.
Okay. You are still in darkness.
I'm feeling on the floor. Do I feel anything yet, or?
To your right, you feel some metal track.
Oh no. Okay, Zippo will go north 5 feet and then east again 5 feet.
Okay. It is all just solid, flat-ish, rough rock ground. You hear the rushing of water to the southeast of you, but echoing through a larger chamber to the southeast.
Okay. Then Zippo will go north. Well, let's see. So that's already. I'm assuming, since I can't see him, he is there. I'm assuming. Okay, so it's 25 feet. Judging from how much rope he has left, Zippo will go a north 10 feet, and then he'll come west a little bit 5 feet. And he's feeling
North
out
10
with
feet.
he's feeling with his hands and his tail, trying to see if he can feel maybe hit the box or something by accident.
Okay. So, you come out of the darkness suddenly once you get out 10 feet. Ahead of you, you see, as I described, the steps leading downward. And you see 3 goblins guarding the path. 2 seem to be chatting with each other from across the cavern. And 1 is looking at you and brandishing his weapon.
Okay, I can't see anything yet.
Yeah, I'm not showing it to you because everybody else will be able to see it.
Gotcha. Okay. I will dip back into the darkness. 5 or 10 feet. How many ever need to get back
5
into
feet, you dip back in.
Okay, and then I will, I guess I'll go west, southwest. I'll go southwest, 5
Are
feet.
you keeping the rope taut as you're going along? Or are you kind of spreading it out like breadcrumbs?
I'm kind of like just spreading it out, trying to make sure I got enough rope
so
and how far I
very,
can go.
very loose. You're not using it as a guide for yourself.
No.
Okay. So I'm just setting the scene here. You're like stumbling around, trying to feel around. You crawl out of the darkness. You meet eyes of the goblin, and then you slowly back into the darkness.
Yeah, and as he's backing up, Zippo's just doing like the peace sign, like, okay, all right, cool.
All right. like
Fuck
it.
you, goblins. I'm out of here.
Once I'd say probably about now, I will talk to Ulrich and say, hey, I'm gonna swing the rope a little bit side to side. That way he knows, so he's not freaking out. And then I'll start trying to like sway it as much as I can to see if I hit anything, like on the floor. Kind of like how you do like a sleeping motion.
Mm-hmm.
Just to see if it makes contact with anything that I could possibly see if it's the box or not.
Sorry, did Zippo mention that that there are goblins over there?
Oh no, he did not. He's just trying to find the box.
We're all just waiting patiently in the light on the other side, just hands in our pockets. Like, huh.
Give me a. Guess this would be a dexterity check. You're trying to use the rope as a ranged weapon.
Alright. You can see here.
Hence the whipping motion.
21.
Try as you might as you whip the rope around. You don't seem to hit anything between you and Ulrich where you are. You do feel that it clangs against some metal to the left of you if you're facing Ulrich at the moment, which I believe you are because you're shaking the rope back and forth.
Yeah.
Which could be the track, maybe.
Okay. So
The other side seems to smack against the stone sometimes, every once in a while, as you're waving it back and forth
okay.
on the wall.
So Zippo will get back down and wave his arms and tail while he's like trying to like real low while he's walking, and he'll walk towards the metal clanging sound about 5 feet.
Diagonally or directly?
Diagonally.
When you get here, you feel just to the southeast of you a piece of that curved track that you followed. Your first time here. Can I get a perception? I know you can't see anything,
Yeah,
but you can hear.
You ignore the disadvantage. I mean, it's still a 2, but it's a critical failure. But we're okay.
Good to know. You know how sometimes, like, when you're in a car and you're trying to do an action in the car while you're driving and you have to turn off the radio in order to do it? It's the opposite of that right now. Like, everything's off and it's so deafening you can't focus on anything but the task in front of you, which is finding that damn magic item.
Yeah, I'm ready to get this. I will, I mean, so I know it's not on the track. And wait, how far have I came since, I was seeing the goblins? Like, how many feet?
You were
What is- I
here
think
when
it'd
you
be
saw the
about-
goblins. So, 25 feet.
Okay, gotcha. So if it's a 30-foot radius, and that's where I saw the goblins, Zippo knows it's a 30-foot radius because we read it. So he will.
Out of character, it's probably on this side then. If you're only 25 feet up this way.
So he saw just and I can just draw this because it's easy to do that. So he saw the darkness ended around this area here. So you've got this line here, and then that line there.
I cannot actually see the lines you're drawing.
Ah. Interesting.
I can
That's
I can see
cool.
the bottom one, but I can't see the top. But
What
I,
if I did this? Can you see that?
Nope.
No. Alright. The reason why is because of the darkness. So it even affects our map. That's pretty cool.
that is pretty rad.
So
Judging from the 30-foot radius.
you saw my
Zippo-
pings though, right?
Yeah, I saw your ping.
So it's here.
Yeah, remembering that it's a 30-foot radius, Zippo will walk another 5 feet south, and then walk 5 feet east, and then
So you're
kinda
following
feel
a
around there
track
and see
now.
if you
When you went 5 feet south, you squared yourself directly on the track, and now you're following the track to the east. The sound of rushing water is still to the east, southeast.
Okay. I'm going to go east again. Another, I want to say 5 feet, but very
Make a reflex
cautiously.
save.
Fudge! I knew
I
it.
would, you said very cautiously, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
It's darkness.
Can't see anything.
So, like, if that was going to give you an advantage, it's just going to be a straight roll right now. All right.
Reflex save is dexterity. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. So, you go down into the cliff again. 5, 10, 15, 20. You fall about 10 feet before the rope goes tight. Ulrich, make a strength check, please.
Check. Okay. 21.
You're good. You catch Zippo. He's a very small weight anyway. Zippo, you are now 10 feet down into the chasm. You hear water rushing below you. You still don't see anything. You hear water rushing to the southeast as well.
Okay, Zippo will holler. I'm trying to come back up. I fell again.
You're having deja vu. This is the same exact spot somehow that you fell last time.
Well, it was on the track.
Yeah.
Zippo's just perfect, alright? He's a perfect character. No
Had to
problem.
be absolutely sure.
Yeah. You never know. The track could have changed.
Now we know that it's more than a 4-foot drop.
Yes, they do. So Zippo will try to have Ulrich pull, and he'll try to climb at the same time.
Okay. Or you pulling him out?
Of course.
And you've communicated that out loud, right? Like, pull me up, pull me up.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Zippo's very ready to get back up there.
Ulrich, you pull him back up with ease. I'm assuming you let him know when you're over, so he's not dragging you across the darkness.
As soon as I get up, my feet up on the edge of the cliff, I'm like, I'm good now. And then I will feel how the edge feels going southwards. Like, does it come in any or go out any?
You're feeling the edge, you said?
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that if I go south right now, I won't fall again.
If
just
you go
very
directly
silently
south,
feeling.
there is nothing but air. The crevice seems to curve back toward Ulrich's position.
Just
Okay,
hug the
I will
west
follow
walls.
the edge of. I will follow the edge of the crevice
Okay.
and go I guess I'll follow the crevice southeast, southish, however it goes, about 5 feet.
So
Just
you
on the
find
edge.
that if you had gone south here, you would have fallen into the crevice. if you had gone south here, you feel that the crevice starts to curve back south. Here, most of this position is over the edge, so you feel if you had stepped there, there would have been a reflex save. There's only a little bit of a nub to the south, so you end up going diagonal here. To the south, it's cut off. To the south, it's cut off, except for a little bit. And you're back halfway into the light, and you can feel that the crevice is just on the other side of the darkness. Like, it's fit very snugly in place. This darkness was definitely meticulously set.
Okay, I will let them know about the goblins on the other side of the darkness. Like, hey, there's 3 goblins over there. One saw me before I jumped back in the darkness. Second, do not follow the east wall. It is all a crevice. I fell twice. Same spot. It's weird. It's longer than a 4-foot drop. It's about a 10-foot drop. And I didn't find
You mean
anything
the south
yet.
wall?
Yeah, south wall. I don't know why I said east wall. And so I'll be like, okay, I'm going to go back in, and I have a different idea. So I'm going to relay to Ulrich, be like, hey, pull the rope tight, and I'll keep it like real low to the ground, and I will follow the crevice again all the way back till I get to where I feel a solid wall.
Okay.
And I will let, gradually as I go, I will let Ulrich when I need just enough rope to let me go where I need to go, but it still be pulled like really taut.
So I'm going to put you back here, since you've just traced this crevice. This is where you fell.
Yep.
The crevice turns northern, and you follow it north. Here you probably would have needed a reflex save. It's half on, half off. And then you find a wall here.
Okay, I'm not in the light, am I?
No.
Okay. So, while we were pulling the rope taut, did it hit anything like
Just
kinda like
just
sweeper
for
motion?
perspective, this square was where the light was. So you were
Gotcha.
just on the edge of it.
All right, gotcha. Yeah, my idea was for when we pulled the rope tight, hopefully it would hit it, because I'm assuming that the box is a little tall, like just enough. So I would try to like keep it not like on the ground, but like maybe a foot off the ground to see if it would maybe clip the box of darkness or anything.
Right. You did not feel anything along your journey along the crevice.
Okay, gotcha. All right, then I will have to, I guess, diagonally. I will pull with the rope and go diagonally back towards the light. So I will follow
Which diagonally back towards your light or the goblin side?
our light. I'm not trying to go back to the goblins. Yeah, I go like back towards like that way.
You hit the track about here and then follow it back. Find Ulrich here and so on.
Yeah, I'll be like, all right, guys, we're gonna have to just give up on this darkness item for right now. I can't find it. I have no idea where it's at. I felt most of this track and the cliff, so it might be a come back later thing. But if we do follow this wall to our left here, or to our north here, I will say that we can get out to where the goblins are, and 2 of them didn't seem ready when I first appeared, but they're probably all 3 ready now.
I saw other people measuring. Does anybody have any input?
Yeah, if you guys have another way for me to go, I will try it.
So Wombat said roughly in this area, and obviously I'm eyeballing on the path because I don't have vision over there, but yeah, right around there is where the light was. So that kind of implies that the center is here-ish, and I think that's across the crevice. From your description of it, Zibo, right?
Yes.
So the crevice kind of comes down.
It kind of follows like a path, kind of similar to like here is the edge, and it kind of comes down and then goes over and then comes down and goes straight over. Like from this area onward is cliff.
Okay, so what I'm assuming is that there is some kind of rocky outcropping over here across the cliff. That's where the darkness is set up, and that's probably why the goblins haven't dismantled it, because they can't get over there safely in the darkness. It would be trivial for the brothers to cut their minecart tracks on the way out, right? So
We could all tie off to each other and follow the left wall. I mean, too loosely, just kind of a loop, something we can all hang on to. Go
yeah, but
together.
then we're getting into like the goblins have noticed us territory, and they definitely have heard us by now. So
Yeah, they know we're here and we know they're there. So I guess the question is do we go over there and deal with that aggressively, and then that we just have time to look at it for the ball of darkness at leisure, or do we just kind of leave well enough alone for now?
Do you think the goblins can hear in the dark?
Remember, the goal is for us to either make peace with or deal with the goblin problem. So the ball is just kind of the darkness thing is a nice to have, but not gotta have.
actually,
dealing with the goblins.
I have a thought. We have this nice darkness here to kind of stem the aggression the goblins have been making. And Belzian can speak Goblin, right? Would this be a good time to attempt diplomacy?
Are you talking just yell pleasantries at them through the darkness?
Yeah, if you boil it down to the bare essentials, that's effectively what I'm suggesting.
It doesn't seem.
Or threaten fire and brimstone. I don't know how smart goblins are, but
I mean, they obviously know we're capable of violence. I'd like to give them the impression we're capable of other things.
Other things like what?
Well, maybe we can get Orak, their king, to just lay aside the grievances, find out what's going on.
Yeah, figure out what started the grievances. So we might be able to present a set of solutions.
I mean,
Gather more information.
But given the fact that they were already readying their weapons at me when I popped out of the darkness, I don't know if they're going to accept just random goblin speech from the darkness.
Maybe they're just guards, guarding things. That's their job. But I think goblins are a lot like any other people. They all just want to live and to eat and be merry.
I mean, I'm all for this plan, Roger. I gotta say, if they're gonna know we're coming in this direction, we have no element of surprise, so we might as well try and do the one thing that might surprise them and come in friendly.
Worst case scenario, if they don't take this friendly, we can always go in the back way.
Right.
Or can we pull them into the darkness and beat the shit out of them? That could work as well.
Well, considering we can't see in the darkness, that would be rough to do. Even if we're holding on to them, I mean.
If you really want to get nasty with it, what we could do is you remember the gate trick, Roger? You know, where we get them into one area and set fire behind them and set fire in front of them. In other words, you'd be kind of hanging out in that one little area that Zippo describes, waiting for them to run into the darkness after us, set fire behind them. We've already set fire in front of them, and then they're trapped. Now that's if we want to be really nasty, but I do think that we should start with some diplomacy.
Diplomacy.
Just run it and cast shatter on them all.
That's also an option.
I'd just like to hear anything other than war cries from our adversary here.
wonder if we could just request an audience for Orak. Just be like, hello, we are seeking the king. Is he available today? Can we make an appointment?
I mean, never
We
hurts to
need
try.
48 hours notice.
We just roll up and ask to speak to their manager.
Everybody just, as soon as we say it, everybody's hair just morphs into the Karen haircut.
Except for Zippo, who has
Except for Zippo, who
some
has
calloused
none.
horns.
Belzian also has no hair.
Well, you do
Yeah, but
now.
you can grow it. Zippo's just got
That's
horns
not how
and
that
scales.
works.
It just appears, just ding. Everybody gets a Karen wig.
All right. So,
Yeah, I'm all in for plan. Can I speak to the Goblins manager?
All right, yeah. Zippo, when you were in the darkness, could you see out of the darkness, or did you
No,
just
I couldn't see
magically show up and it's not dark?
I just appeared in front of them, saw that one was looking at me, and just dipped right back into the darkness.
Okay. And if you just follow the northeasternly wall,
Yeah, if you just
here
step out of the darkness and be like, if you just follow this wall,
there's a wall you can follow, then
yeah, you can just follow this wall straight up, pretty
If
much.
you go this way, you fall into the crevasse.
Yeah, if you go any way that's not this wall, you got like an 89% chance of falling into the crevice.
I don't like those odds.
Yeah, it's not a good chance.
I think we should tie off, or at least be able to hang on to a common rope. So tie the first and the last person, and everybody else just kind of hang on to the rope in between.
But Zippo's already got the rope tied to him, so he can follow the rope to where the darkness ends, and then you guys can just follow it that way if you want.
Could we tie the rope to something a little more structural, like the rails on the ground over here?
Elevator?
We could tie it to the elevator, although I don't want to jeopardize our ride out.
How heavy do you think we are? We could use the elevator to pull us back. It just send it up, and we'll just fly along with it on the ropes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I will attempt diplomacy from the darkness. What
Okay.
should I ask the goblins, fellas? What do you think?
well, you can say that we're here to speak with Orak, King Orak, and that we want peace. How can we attain that? That's the direction I would. That's the pond I'd fish in.
Here to
Okay.
negotiate for peace.
Yeah.
We don't
All
want
right.
to fight.
That's debatable. Look, okay, as I stated, Zippo wants to use every spell he's got, and I haven't used Shatter yet, so... It's on the tip of my tongue, it's like, right there.
Waiting for its time. Okay. Shall we just send Belzian in hand against the wall, or are we going to do this rope system? Are we all going to tie ourselves together?
I mean, following the wall's a pretty safe bet. If we want to do the rope system, we can. But
I vote
as
for
the only one that's experienced the darkness, the wall's a pretty good path.
Okay, so the question is, are we roping up in a buddy system, or is
I think we
Belzian
rope
just
Bloody
YOLOing in there?
So it's because that way, if we rope up and stuff goes wrong, at least we can all be, hey, we're all going this way, or we're all going that way.
So,
rather
keep us
than
all in the
From
same
what I
direction.
understand, you are tying off the rope here-ish? Or further back?
I think we asked if we could tie it to the tracks, and that
You
seemed
can.
like a
Yeah.
strong
You'll just
enough
have to
structure.
use a check for that. Sleight of
Ah.
hand.
Yeah, I can roll sleight of hand. Would anybody like to give me some aid here?
I will help you out. I've read a book about ropes.
Another 4.
This is that 50 Shades book, wasn't it?
So
It's
you roll
good
that
book.
at I believe when you're being aided, you roll that at advantage, right, Shade?
Yeah.
Yeah. So roll a second time.
There you go.
All right, there we are.
That's a much more average roll for Roger.
I'm sure. So you tie off the rope. Everybody gathers a loop of the rope, I guess. This is still the 50-foot rope, right? Or the 60-foot rope?
Yeah.
So the plan is that we're all going to enter the darkness, and Belzian is going to call out from the darkness to try and garner peace.
Yes.
Belzian turns to Jordan. Do you know any fanfare, good fellow? Every good diplomat must arrive with a tune of some sort.
Ah, I see you'd like some inspiration.
Oh, everything you do is inspiring. But I was thinking, like a 2-second long song. Like you may have heard the classic dun da da da. Some kind of.
I see. He doesn't actually have a trumpet or anything of that sort. But he can give you bardic inspiration if you'd like. He's at half of his inspiration at the moment.
I think that would be sound. Belzian's not entirely charismatic, but he does speak Goblin.
All right. So you get 1d6 for an inspiration dice. It's the mote of potential. So for an ability check, bardic inspiration dice can be rolled again, and you choose which die you use. So when you roll the d6 to add it to your ability check, you basically roll 2d6 and choose whichever you want to use, whether it be the higher one or the lower one, depending on what your target is. Yeah, because this isn't a saving throw or an attack roll. It's definitely an ability check.
Okay.
Fortunately for you, it's anybody that can hear me gets it. If it was C, we're already in the we're already in the darkness, right? So it wouldn't matter. So I'm not even going to describe to you what the mode of potential looks like that's hovering around you. Just know that there is one.
It's just there.
All right. Belzian.
All right,
I guess, do you want to say your thing first and then roll, or do you want to roll and then say your thing?
You're the boss. Your call.
Give me 1 second.
I've prepared a script for this.
I like the thought of Jordan playing like a
Why don't you
Spanish guitar.
speak first, and then we'll roll to see how well that speech does.
Okay, so I'll follow the wall however many feet till we can kind of gauge where the end of the darkness is. And Belzian will speak up just in case they're really far away from the darkness. I don't know where the goblins are, but I hear they're somewhere. Does that work?
So where are you moving to? Where move your character?
Okay, I can't see shit. Here? I don't know. Can you see where I've moved the piece, or are
Yes.
you there?
So Ulrich's currently there. Yep, you can move there, and you can move up 1 too.
I think. I don't know how big
an
the dark-
estimate of 15 feet away from the darkness's edge at the moment.
Yeah,
So
okay.
here
I'll
would be-
go up one more spot. There we go. That's like
Alright.
10 feet difference, right? They can hear my sounds. Unless goblins are deaf. All right. Speech incoming. Belzian pipes up. Hello. I hope you are well. We come in peace. We have come to seek an audience with His Majesty King Orak. We do not wish to fight and would like to know what we can do to not fight with you anymore. Your input is appreciated. That's all he memorized.
Please return the survey, and we will respond within 30 days.
What am I rolling?
Roll a diplomacy check, please.
Like persuasion?
Yes, please.
Oh dear. Okay. Well, that'll do it.
Oof. Use your bardic inspiration.
I'm gonna say,
you might wanna
how
use
do
that.
I
So
how
you
do I
roll
add
2d6. Okay, so it doesn't matter because they're both 4, so you're going to be adding 4 to the roll, which is an 11. All right. So, mind you, just for clarification, the rest of the group cannot understand this conversation. So all they're hearing is you grunting and growling or some sort of whatnot motions. I do want to do one thing though before I continue. Roger, could you give me a intelligence or not a perception, please?
Yes. At least my
Okay.
ears are still sharp.
You feel something poking into your side from in your bag.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, you hear back through the darkness,
Master and mistress is taking no visitors today. Be gone with you, or die.
Belzian whispers back. Doesn't sound like they really want to see us right now, guys. Should we just go? Or should I press the matter?
Tell them you have cake.
Belzian says in Goblin, perhaps some tasty, delectable treats could change your mind.
I doubt it.
We don't actually have any cake, do we?
No.
the voice,
Well,
the
no,
voice
they don't know
sounds closer than it did last time.
I don't think you've had these kind of treats. They really are quite the mouthful.
Since the voice is sounding closer, Roger's going to go ahead and take a hand off the rope and draw one of his knives.
Okay.
While I'm basically provoking these
Your
goblins
knives
at
are
this
on your
point.
belt, right, Roger?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't remember my entire inventory of weapons offhand. Actually, I'll pull out a rapier. Yeah, got my little stabby weapon.
A rapier, okay. So you draw your rapier. And Belzian, what did you say you were doing?
Well, it kind of feels like I'm just provoking the goblins at this point. Can I use my club to feel around the darkness in front of me? In case any goblins come into the darkness.
It still sounds a distance away from you. It just seems like he's approached the darkness more as he's talking to you.
See if you can maybe just ask him some questions. Maybe just ask why the war is going on here.
Yes, fellow goblin, sir, what is your name? I am Belzian Gilkaz, and I come on behalf of an employer, perhaps, the Mithril Brothers. They just want to know what's going on.
As soon as you say Mithril Brothers, he spits and says,
I said, Be gone or die.
Sir, I really think you're being quite immature about this matter. Um, Perhaps you could step into the darkness with us, and we could tell you about all the wonderful things we could do to solve this for you.
Um.
Let's start with your name. I have a few goblin friends back home, or at least they're not goblins. We called them goblins. It was more of a cute nickname. But what is your name?
So, you hear the whooshing of fire being cast. Let me roll. High or low?
Low Piccolo.
Okay.
Oh, wow. It's like when you flip a coin and it lands like on the side.
Edge. Called it.
You feel fire pass by you as it's cast into the darkness. In your direction. It goes by. The way he's talking, it may have been a warning shot or it may have been a provoked attack.
Looks like things are starting to heat up in here, guys. I don't think they're happy to see us.
I think diplomacy has failed, Belzia.
Should we come back with different voices and see if they think it's somebody else?
I think they just really don't like cake.
Who doesn't like cake?
I'm
I'm confused if this fellow just won't tell us his name, or if his name is just Be Gone and Die. I don't know what the other names are.
Well, since diplomacy's failed, do we want to bum rush them now or sneak through the back?
Let's go around back. I think we've got a better chance of having a non-violent solution if we don't go out of our way to kill them. Every other time that we've interacted with the goblins, they've attacked us first.
They're just a bunch of spoiled brats. Okay, Belzian will slowly retreat, following the wall. But he will say back to the goblins in Goblin, well, we will eagerly await your answer. I will be standing here forever, so don't be a stranger. And then he leaves.
Ulrich, are you leaving the darkness as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that didn't go too well.
Is Belzian going to translate the entirety of the conversation?
Yeah, I will relay. I will
He
relay.
just comes out mumbling, "That didn't go well. Let's go." No. All right. So
They told us our options were die or be gone. I don't like either of those options.
Technically, we got a piece of information here. He said master and mistress.
I didn't know there was a goblin queen or goblin consort or whatever.
From the sounds of it, neither did the Mithril brothers, so either she's the one that's causing this war, or it was kind of like a little piece of information they didn't feel like telling us.
Yeah, that's all very, very real possibility. They may have just, been classically patriarchal and decided not to mention anything about the queen.
Maybe the queen is a new addition to the goblin clan. I know a lot of people who basically change their entire personalities when they're in a relationship,
What's that?
Or perhaps the queen has killed Orc and is just using him as puppet.
Whoa.
Possible. Well, I guess the only way to find out is to sneak through the back and hope we don't die.
I'm now all in on Operation Climb Down the Ladder.
Let's go to the ladder.
Well, now I'm not so sure now. You know, I just gotta say, I wanna think about climbing down this ladder a few more hours first. I'm just joking you, Roger. Let's get the fuck up this elevator and go down that ladder.
Go team ladder.
But first, I do just want to say, it may be pertinent to consider taking for our minds to go into astral place and take a short rest, as it is probably 9 p.m. in some other plane of existence, and that's normally when they take a rest.
I was going to say, would you guys like to take a 10-minute break for bathroom and bio and booze and any other B name that you can think of?
Oh, booze! I forgot.
Burritos.
Drinks.
Burritos, yeah. I had a burrito for dinner tonight before session.
I had banh mi.
Nice.
Found a new banh mi restaurant nearby.
You know what the greatest part about banh mi is? If you're treating everyone, then the whole dinner is banh mi. All right. With that, we'll be back in just a moment. We'll see you soon.
Yeah. Hey, no sweat.
Welcome back, everyone. As we're waiting for the map to load up, let's talk about what's coming next. So you are all heading to the west, I'm assuming, to the ladder area.
Yep.
Is that correct?
That's the plan.
Yeah.
Yep. And we've already mapped it out for traps.
Yep. Yeah, I marked them based off of the information you got on the map. But also, I do have these dancing lights here, which I just put back up as Jordan for your glowing pleasure. Speaking of which, where did Jordan go? Where is he?
Probably off barding somewhere.
I think he's underneath of Belzian.
Oh, okay.
I'm standing on his shoulders.
Hey, that's Zippo's.
Yeah, there he is.
It looked like fun.
It is.
We've got ropes tied over these both of these barricades so that we can climb over them.
Hope you don't mind, Diego, but I moved you.
That's fine.
Okay. So this is the Hall of Traps that the group encountered last time. As soon as they came over this second barrier, both Ulrich and Belzian had to make reflexes in order to not fall into the hole. The second time in which that they had to do this, Ulrich did fall in the hole, and then he fell in a later hole as well. The rest of the group is seemingly unscathed.
Well, you know what they say, I am a holy man.
Turned out that it was good that you fell in the first hole, because there was a bag down there that ended up being something of good fortune. So the ropes are still tied off on these barricades from the last time you were here. Yes, there were spikes, Wexnip.
Okay. I'd say, following our knowledge of traps, once we get to the ladder, who's going down first?
I will volunteer.
Okay. Rock on.
In fact, I could go down quite a ways ahead of the light because I have dark vision. I could be relatively stealthy. So I might be able to scout out the area and tell you guys what's down there. Before we all go down together and bring torches and announce our presence.
That sounds like an amazing plan to Zippo.
How about you go first this time?
Yeah.
Time for the rogues to do the actual rogues job.
First time the entire session.
All right, so You're looking down the hole?
I am looking down the hole.
So the hole descends into darkness. The ladder goes farther than 60 feet down. The passage is fairly wide. I would say probably about. I'm gonna check my map here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what? Let me just measure it out. It's about 50 feet across.
Oh, so I can
so it
see
widens
that it's a super wide chasm. Okay.
Yes, it's like almost like a sinkhole that's been laddered down. You see. Actually, you know what? How about you make a perception check for me?
Perception check. 24.
Okay. So first of all, I'm going to say that the area of your pack that was poking you is no longer poking you from earlier.
Gotcha.
Secondly, you hear the sound of skittering from something large down in the darkness, and you also see some large supports for what might be larger webs further down, coming up off of the ceiling and going downward.
Webs are these like spider silk?
Yes.
Okay.
That's fire.
But before I climb down, I'll mention this to the party. Hey guys, how do y'all feel about giant spiders?
I want to tame them.
All right, you go first.
Yeah. Sounds like it's your shot, boy.
Just think
Go get him,
spiders
Tiger.
and backwards.
I don't think they'll want me to tame them though.
So Zippo is going first now?
Might as well. If nobody else
Um,
wants to.
So we've got two approaches here, I think, right? We can barrel down into the darkness where there be spiders, or we could light the webs on fire. What's the ladder made out of?
It's iron.
Yeah.
And actually, now that you're looking at the ladder, give me a perception, please.
Another one. 23.
There seems to be some sort of oil on the ladder.
Do I have like a piece of cloth that I can swipe the first affected rung with, that I can like get a sample of it without getting it on my hands?
You can.
I will do that.
Did you say, did my roll 20 freeze, Belsian?
On your stream, it doesn't seem to be updating,
Oh, the
I'll be
roll.
right
but I've got that closed again.
Gotcha.
I don't know if it kept going.
It's updated now. I don't know about the roll feed, but the map is definitely updated.
So I've got a sample of this oil on a piece of cloth.
Yes.
And now that we've got it like kind of up in the light and away from the ladder, what does it look like? Smell like? Etc. I'm not touching it yet.
It's a blackish, oily substance, very slippery. Has a. It's not really much of a smell. Make an intelligence. possibly lantern oil.
We have a torch, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna wave the oily part of the cloth up against the flame, but not holding it there long enough that I would expect the cloth to catch on fire by itself. Does it catch on fire?
It does indeed. It ignites almost immediately.
All right, I'll toss it down the hole
Okay.
and watch as it descends.
The oil burns quickly and fiercely, and seems to go out before it does too much. Like it doesn't ignite the web, if that's what you were thinking.
More looking to see what it illuminates.
So it briefly illuminates the passage down, and you can see indeed that maybe 70 or just outside of your vision, the web is kind of stretching across the entire cavern. You don't see any movement at the present, but you see that the ladder continues through the web and further down. And then the fire quickly goes out. As quickly as it started.
You guys see lots of... somebody has conveniently oiled our ladder for us.
Maybe it's more to keep whatever's down there from coming up. Whether you fall down there or something's living down there. Just making it a little harder for it to get up the ladder.
I wonder if these defenses were for goblins after all.
We did find some goblins in the traps.
You did indeed, yes.
And we found humans in the traps too.
You did indeed, yes. At least one.
Yeah, the
You,
one
also,
human.
you found a living one as well, but that one was one of your party.
Yeah.
And the one human we found was was wearing miner's clothes. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Or was wearing foreman's clothes?
Yes.
Maybe the Mithril brothers put up these barricades to prevent spiders from coming up.
So now we have a choice of risking it with the spiders or running into the goblins.
Well, we can get more information before we decide. The lantern oil looks like it burns really quickly. We can always light the top of the ladder on fire. See how far down it burns, what it burns, and make more decisions after.
A literal trial by fire.
Indeed.
That works for me.
I
The
don't
metal's
think
going to be
we're-
really hot whenever we get, done. But
I mean, we can always wait.
Like, how long would
20
iron
minutes
stay
for it
hot?
to cool down. Yeah. With as fast as it was burning, I wouldn't expect the metal to stay hot for a couple minutes.
if we want to try that, we can try that. I could also send dancing lights down 120 feet and we can kind of see what they see if we don't want to burn it yet.
Okay.
But if we want to burn it, I mean, that works. It'd be it'd be a solution two ways.
We also have the lights that are currently illuminating this hall that we can send down from my cantrip.
Yeah, let's send not all of the lights so that humans up here can still see.
We've got a torch up here.
No, okay, sure. Let's send all of them.
Okay.
And just scout out around with light, since the webs go beyond my dark vision.
So, let me, I'm going to bring up the second map again. I know you guys aren't there yet, so bear with me. So, just keep this in mind. You are not in here yet. I'm just moving you so that you can. That's not.
We can see.
Yeah. So,
Copy.
actually, you know what? Give me one sec. All right. Can everybody see?
Give me a second.
It looks spidery.
Yes, does.
Burn it with fire.
Can we see anything beyond the spider webs by running the dancing lights down below it?
Is this web like horizontal, or is this like looking down the ladder?
I've got to check dancing lights to see something.
I think they're intangible.
Yeah, that's my question. They appear like torches or balls of light, which is what I chose. It doesn't say anything about whether they can go through objects or not.
I would assume that if like something of roughly the size of a torch light or light bulb or
Yeah, I'd
whatever
say
size
they'd
point of
be able
reference.
to pass through the wider areas, but like since it doesn't say whether they do or not, I'm assuming you can't send dancing lights through a wall. It has to be through something that you can see. But since you can see through these webs, I'll give it to you. So it seems like the webs are about halfway through the chamber. There are more webs down below that stretch across the chamber as well. So if one were to have fallen, they probably would have fallen onto the webs and gotten tangled, but they could have fallen through and gone into a second or third set of webs as well. Far below, you see a blue glow that illuminates the bottom of the passage some great distance down.
We have no idea how far that is because it's just too much stuff in the way.
Right.
All right, I'm in favor of playing torch the ladder and see what happens.
With fire.
Yeah, we're gonna have to probably wait if it. I mean, depending on how hot it makes this iron, but.
And how long the webs burn. Then we
Yeah.
catch fire.
All right.
If the
Well,
web burns.
So let's
I got the torch.
light her up.
All right, you ignite the grease on the ladder, and it ignites and travels about 15 feet down the ladder before it stops. It burns for about 5 minutes before the fire goes out and the blackened iron ladder looks even more blackened and more irony. Oh, the irony.
Oh no.
Yeah, how hot is it to the touch? I suppose.
It's warm. The bars themselves, the stepping bars, are hot. The sides of the ladder are more cool. It's a thicker metal.
Well, that didn't set the webs on fire like I was hoping it would.
I can firebolt at the webs
Oh, there you go.
if you want to do that.
It's just a cantrip, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so we'll fire a firebolt at the webs.
Okay. Make a Ranged spell attack, please.
I got 12.
Okay. There's enough webs that it hits some of the webs. And the webs begin to burn in earnest. As soon as that occurs, a spider pops out from this hole, screeches, looks up at you guys, and begins climbing the wall toward you. The screeches echo further down, as if more spiders have been alerted as well.
So, target practice?
I mean, once we see the first spider, are we in initiative yet, or can I just fire at it while looking down?
Yeah, we can do initiative.
Okay.
Oh, Roger will get his bow out.
So what I'm going to do for initiative then is I'm going to reset us back up to the first level. And I'm assuming you guys are waiting for the spiders to come up.
Just gonna club them if they appear.
If I have a clear line of, if I have a clear shot, I'd like to shoot them while they're still down there.
Yeah, same.
So what I will say here is you're at a hole at the top of this cavern, right? You're kind of in the center, but it's only a 5-foot hole. You can't really see the sides of the hole very well unless it's super far down because of the angling, right?
Gotcha.
So once it starts climbing up within 5-10 feet of where the web is, which is already at the edge of your vision, it kind of is blocked by the stone.
Okay.
Just as a heads up. So you could do it where you're standing above the hole, and any spider that you see appear down there, you can shoot at as a ready to action. But based off of the distance, the darkness, and the angle, you're probably not going to be able to see much in terms of that as it goes. Since the spider popped up and we started initiative, we'll see if you go before the spider disappears or not. Okay?
Okay. Actually, I think Zippo. Well, I was going to say Zippo would have more luck, but apparently not.
I got a 9.
Yeah, I have a 13 here. Roger's been doing chemistry instead of archery.
Alright. I'm sighing because Roll20 is not cooperating with OBS as much.
Oh no.
At the moment. The map's fine, but the roll feed is not working very well. So, anyway.
Let's have to yell our numbers louder, so everybody knows.
I mean, I can see them just fine. All right, so let's start from the top. Anybody get above a 20? Looks like Jaeger.
Yep. 24.
Yeah. 21. Oh, and Belzian yells at Jordan, "Hey, come on over here. We're gonna squash some spiders. It'll be fun."
Yeah. All right, Jordan got a 16. Anybody get above a 16 but below 20? Okay. 15 is Ulrich.
Mm-hmm.
Roger's got 13.
Roger, and then Zippo.
Yeah, Zippo got a 9.
And Spider. Belzian, what's your dex?
19.
Okay.
Sounds like the spider got a 21.
All right, so just give me one moment. If you'd like to plan out how you want to deal with this, I just have to take care of one thing, and I'll be right back.
Ow.
So I'm going to operate on the assumption that the spider is going to disappear before we have to get the opportunity to shoot it, Zippo.
Yeah.
Jaeger might have the opportunity to shoot it before it disappears.
That's what I was thinking. Just kind of take a pot shot at it. I don't really have time to ready like a flaming arrow or anything like that, but at least I can take a shot.
I think the flaming arrows are going to be less relevant right now, because we're fighting them up here, right? They're kind of limited by the size of the hole as to how big of a spider can come out.
Spiders can get into all sorts of weird places, though. We don't even know what kind of spiders they are.
The downside to fighting up here is I'm going to be fighting at disadvantage the entire time because I'm a ranged, and this is close combat.
I don't want to throw any darts, so I'm going to approach this like a whack-a-mole situation, but with only one hole.
Zippo, is there any space for you to back away from the hole?
I could probably back up in between Belzian and Jaeger and for Yarvik and get like behind them so I can kind of fire from a distance so I'm not in disadvantage.
Yeah, I think these two spots are technically available.
Yeah, if you and Yarvik switch spots, you could back up one away from the hole and be in relatively good shape.
On another note, if we start to get overwhelmed, I can always just shatter the top of the thing and try to collapse it on them.
Note that the top of it that you would be trying to collapse includes the platform that we're standing on.
That's a good point.
FYI, I am standing here. Please don't.
All right, so Jaeger, top of the round. What you got?
I'm going to take a shot with my bow at the whatever I can see that looks creepy and crawly.
So,
Not Zippo.
are you moving up to the hole then?
Yeah, I moved up, and then I was going to move up out of the way for. Yeah, let me.
Yeah, we can all be like around the hole, right? So
We're just waiting to club these creatures to say.
it's like whack-a-hole, right?
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead and try taking a shot at a spider that's climbing just about out of sight. Nice shot. The arrow goes into the carapace of the spider. Roll damage, please. 6 piercing.
Is there another spider within 5 feet of that I can see?
There is not. Although you do notice that there's a lot of tiny spiders that are fleeing from the burning flame that is spreading quickly across the first set of webs. It also seems to have ignited a bundle of web that you might have seen in the last map. That bundle burns apart, and you see the dried and mostly meaty corpse of a goblin plummet down to the next web. It's barely recognizable, but it's small enough that it's got to be a goblin.
I get the feeling these traps work for us.
Anything else you'd like to do, Jaeger?
I'm just going to put my bow away and ready my short sword for when they start coming out of the hole. So.
Okay. Next up is Belzian.
I'm just gonna chill here, but can I ready an action as a reaction if a spider shows up?
You can. What are you going to do if a spider shows up?
I'm gonna hit it with my club,
Okay.
and that's it for now.
Are these seal spiders?
What was that?
Are these seal spiders?
No.
It's my Canadian heritage, eh?
All right. Next up, the spider, and it climbs out of sight. You hear skittering and screeching as the. I'm gonna just have the web burn at the top of the round. So the initial web burning that I described with Yarvik is how I'll do it next time too. How far it spreads. No further giant spiders seem to appear from where you are standing. Jordan readies an action to stab anything that comes out of the hole. Ulrich.
Ready's an action to chop something with his great axe.
Okay. Roger.
I'll draw my rapier and ready in action to stab anything that comes out of the hole.
Okay. Zippo.
So, question: if I stand here, would that be counted as enough range for me to shoot my ranged spell attacks without disadvantage?
You need to be up on the hole, up north one from where you are.
So, right here, maybe?
So you are right here. You need to move up one. So
No, I mean, like, if a spider pops out, I don't want to shoot at it with disadvantage.
He doesn't want to be in melee range.
Yeah, that's what.
Got it.
Melee range.
Being that they are large spiders, you're not sure there's anywhere in this current room where you would be not in melee range, unless you're further down the passage.
Okay.
And then you'd have disadvantage because of your friends.
Gotcha. Okay, so either way it goes.
But if you have disadvantage, why not be safe and disadvantaged?
Yeah, I think Zippo is just gonna take the dodge action, and that way, if anything does pop out and shoot at and hits at him, he can just try to dodge out of the way. So
Okay.
he has nothing he can do till he sees something.
All right, top of the round. The web begins to burn more, and it begins dropping off from the around the ladder, clearing the area. Some of the web begins to fall on the second layer, burning more web. It's lighting up the cavern quite a bit, and you can see that there are char marks on the walls around this cavern. Potentially this has happened plenty of times before.
So this is not the first time that the spiders have dealt with someone burning their webs down.
Correct. Jaeger.
I'm just going to remain ready and wait for either something to come out of the hole or what kind of guess do we have as far as how far down can we see? I mean, I know it seems pretty dark, but if
Do you have-
the webs are
do
on
you-
fire, we're seeing them burn, right? We can see how far the fire is going.
Yeah, you can see the fire is about 80 feet down.
I think when we dropped a rock last time, we estimated it a little over 100 feet. I can check my notes.
Submit to the good of the party while I'm looking down the hole. Yarvik is going to say, is this a fight we really want to take?
Doesn't seem like we have much of a choice now.
It seems like we'll be fighting these eight-legged fellows or the goblins that we failed diplomacy with earlier.
I'll take my chance with the spiders.
Fighting the
I feel like I
goblins
can
gets
go
us
goblins
paid.
easier.
This might have a better payoff eventually, if it goes where we think it goes.
If we find any baby spiders, though, we got to keep them alive for me to try to tame. I'm determined by the end of this to have an army of animals, okay? DM permitting, I am having an army of animals.
So, Jaeger, you said you're just readying an action, correct?
Yep, just waiting to see how this develops.
And just to clarify, you're readying an action for if what happens?
Melee attack. If a spider breaches the hole, I'm going to use
Okay.
attack with the short sword.
Okay, perfect. Just, I wanted to know if you were shooting with your bow, chopping with a sword, what the plan was. Alright, so you're switching weapons, going to your short sword, and readying an action. Belzian.
I hate to be unoriginal, but that is exactly what Belzian is doing as well. Just waiting. Waiting another 6 seconds. To melee attack something if it shows up.
Okay. So, the skittering seems to have dissipated. Like, you don't hear it anymore. It was still down below you 6 seconds ago, but it seems to have stopped or faded away or something. I'm not sure. But, yeah, the skittering has stopped for the time being. You still hear more, like, screeches and things down below as the web burns, but the spider that's close by you seems to have stopped moving. Or at least you don't hear it.
Perhaps we have bested them, fellows.
Jordan stays true to his last, studying to see if he can see any spider, but not daring to go down to check. Ulrich?
Ulrich sidles over, says, well, there's an easy thing to do. And he starts to, so that's 2 movements he made. He makes a third and gets onto the ladder to descend 5 feet just to see if he can see anything.
Okay, so as you go down into the space, you, with the darkness illuminated by both the fire and the dancing lights, do not see any large spiders anywhere nearby you or in the direction that it crawled. You don't even see evidence of a spider going into another cavern. It's as if it wasn't ever there in the first place. You do hear more skittering and screaming sounds below, but you don't see any down there. Now, if you'd like to make a perception check, I could see if I could tell you any more than that, but that's what you get from going down 5 feet. The area is also very cool now, and you're getting some strange smells coming up from that fire, though.
Okay, 19 on perception.
Other than the small spiders that are fleeing the web, you don't see any more large spiders in the vicinity.
Okay, well, he says, alright, well, I don't know, let's just burn the rest of the ladder down and go from there.
The ladder?
You know, burn the
Webs.
oil off of the ladder.
I think we did that.
Well, I think I only got 15 feet. Right?
Looking down, I'll give you this for perception. That was as far as the oil went down. It looks like the top of the ladder was greased, and that's it.
Oh,
Okay,
that was my assumption.
Okay. Well, he's good to go down, personally.
Are you going to continue down for your full movement?
He's got 10 more feet of movement. He makes that action.
Okay. Climbing makes half, right?
I'm not sure.
I
guess with a ladder, you can do full movement. If it was like you're climbing a slick surface or like a crag or something like that, it would be half. So we'll say that you move down the rest of your 15 feet, so you're 20 feet down. All right. Roger.
No, sorry, I should only be 15 feet down total.
15 feet down? Okay, perfect. So 10 more feet down. So 15 in total.
I'm going to make a perception check.
Okay.
I guess I'm not just looking, but also kind of listening for sounds, especially up near the top. As the spider going quiet indicates that not only might it be moving to a hiding spot somewhere, but that it could be trying to lay in wait for an ambush, or what its limited intelligence might think is an ambush.
Sure.
Well, it did live long enough to become a large spider.
You don't see anything different from what I told Ulrich.
Okay. I will continue readying to attack any spider that gets within melee range.
Okay. Zippo.
Zippo will, for his action, he will cast Armor of Agathis on himself, giving him 10 temporary hit points.
Okay, sounds great.
And if anything hits me, it takes 10 damage.
I see it says 10 cold as well.
Yeah, it does the 10 cold damage to anything that hits me in melee range.
Okay, alright. Good to know.
And then I will move 15 feet to get on the ladder, and I will go down 10. Well, I'll go down, like, almost to where I'm right over Ulrich, but, like, I'll leave enough room to start running if we have to.
So, Ulrich, to climb down, you don't have any drawn weapon. You're using both hands, correct?
Yeah, I sheathed the weapon.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
Alright, top of the round, Jaeger.
I'm gonna let them get enough space because we don't want to overcrowd the ladder. So I'm gonna wait for them to get farther down and then keep looking. I'm gonna take my bow back out, sheath my sword, take my bow back out, and kind of cover as they're descending, keeping an eye out for anything that I might be able to see that might be able to threaten them. It's not much, but it's better than nothing.
Sure. That leaves us to Belzian.
We're waiting about 12 seconds for a spider to appear. Belzian is also impatient. Where are you going, fellows? Wait for me. And I don't think I can go very far down the ladder before I kick Zippo in the head.
So Zippo is right above Ulrich, who was 15 feet down, so you can go 5 feet down the ladder.
All right, I am now 5 feet down the ladder.
Okay. Whether it be the movement of Belzian, or that you're kind of wondering where the spider is, as Belzian descends the ladder, a spider seemingly appears directly behind Jaeger. Almost as if it shifts into existence.
Ghost spiders?
Oh no.
Ooh, face spiders.
The ultimate pet weapon.
It proceeds to attack Ulrich. Ulrich, what's your AC?
16.
Or not Ulrich, excuse me. Jaeger. My bad. It's behind Jaeger. Up here.
So what are you
guys
looking
see
for?
that- You guys can see the spider, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Jaeger. What's your AC? 16. All right. It hits you and deals 8 damage as it bites into your back. Please make a Constitution saving throw.
On the sheet when we do this, we just click in the Constitution.
So, yeah, up next to Constitution, there's the +2. You click that, and that's your saving throw modifier. Excellent. Well done. So, as it bites into you, you feel that it's not only biting and tearing at your back, but something is going in as well. You take 8 points further of damage as poison goes into your body.
Okay. I'm just ow.
Yep. So, I'll just point this out. Roger, you had it ready to action for if the spider was in melee range. It is not at this point, and the rest of us had reactions for if it came out of the hole. So, unfortunately, nobody else is going after the spider at the moment, but we are now at Jordan. Jordan leaps forward with his rapier and attacks the spider. He hits with a 23 and does 7 points of damage to the spider.
Heck yeah, Jordan.
All right. Next up is Ulrich, who is down below 2 other people on the ladder.
Yep. So, Ulrich is stuck.
Keep going down.
I mean, he says, he says, hey, I mean, we can either fight it in the top space up there, or we can fight it down here. And starts moving down.
Okay. So how far do you move down?
His movement speed.
Okay, so all 30 feet?
Sure.
Okay, sounds good. Roger.
Zippo, get your ass back up here. Let's see. I'm going to use my my rogue bonus action to disengage back to here. Then I'm gonna draw my bow and fire an arrow at the spider.
So I will note that you don't need to disengage. It only has a reach of 5 feet.
Okay.
Just as a heads up.
In that case, I'll spend my move action to stow my rapier instead of dropping it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do I get a sneak attack for having
It
allies
is
next
in
to it?
combat with 2 allies, so you have advantage. but the allies are between you and it, so you have disadvantage. So it's just normal, which means no sneak.
It's a shame. Oh, that's not a crit. Okay. Does a 26 hit?
26 hits.
I'll do 12 piercing damage.
12 piercing. Very nice. Still up. Let's go to Zippo.
Zippo is underneath of Belzian, and whenever he hears Roger holler for him, like, I don't know what you expect me to do. I can't make it up there right now. And then he will be like, I'm just going to go down. I'm sure you've got this. And he will go down his full 30 feet of movement speed.
Peace.
God damn it, Zippo.
That's not what you expect me to do. I mean, I can't just... only other option I have is to get to where I hope I can see it and shatter. And that's hurting everybody, so... It's safer just for me to go on down. So I'll take
Right. Zippo,
30 feet, I guess.
So you go 30 feet, so you're above Ulrich again.
Yeah.
All right. Top of the round, the fire has spread further across the second layer. The cavern kind of gets wider as it goes lower. So like it was 50 feet wide around where the first layer is. It's probably more like 60 or 70 feet the next layer down. So it's taking longer to burn. But it is spreading still pretty quickly. It's illuminating the whole passage below you. And you see many groupings of web that are burning, and small baby spiders are kind of like screaming and burning and dying in this fire. Some of them are escaping, but the fire is going a little faster than they can crawl away. Yeah, so that's that. Jaeger, you've got a spider on you.
Just I've got a bow now. So the only thing I can do is try to take a point blank shot, see if I can hit it in an eyeball or something.
Didn't you switch to your short sword in case something popped out? So you have the short sword out?
I switched back.
Oh, you switched back. Got it.
Yeah, I switched back to cover their descent.
Okay. Right.
I'll just throw out there, it only takes one hand per short sword, and you can
Correct.
hold a bow in the other hand and draw
Yeah.
a weapon as an action, or as part of your attack action.
You can also always drop the bow and pull out the short sword as your move, and you still have an attack. So, like, you could do either one.
Sure, I don't want to drop my bow, so I guess the best move would be to, I've only got like 6 hit points left, so the smart move for me is to pull my sword and try to disengage and get distance. So that's what I'm going to do. Is there a way to kind of back off from this fight while defending myself?
So I believe disengage is a movement. Is there such a thing as double move in this edition?
It's an action. There's disengage and dash, which are both actions, but
Right.
can be taken as bonus actions by rogues.
Right, okay, so your action is going to be the disengage, and then you can move away from it. So you won't be able to attack it, but you'll be able to keep yourself safe.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to create some space.
Okay, where would you like to move?
The other side of the hole.
Okay. Go ahead and move yourself to where you need to go.
Leaving a clear shot here means that I can get a sneak attack in, assuming Jordan stays in melee range.
Correct.
Also, just wanted to throw out, typically when you have someone in front of you, and we could do whatever, but I think it's what's called half and full.
Half cover.
Yeah, so it's like an addition to the AC, not disadvantaged.
Good to know. I'll keep that in mind. All right, so Jaeger just went, so it's Belzian's turn.
Is everything going on all right up there, guys? What's all that noise?
The spiders up here.
Oh, like 100 spiders? How many spiders?
One.
Ah, that's not very many spiders. You hear his voice get quieter as he descends the ladder.
All right. All I want to say is that I got a bunch of shit for being a coward like about an hour and a half ago. All three of you are cowards.
Nope. Two of us had the path blocked. One of us.
Come on in, the water's fine. We'll go down with care not to step on Zippo.
All right, so Belzian is now above Zippo on the ladder. The spider attacks Jordan. And hits.
Jordan.
Oh, no.
Okay.
That's not an encouraging sound.
It does 10 damage as it bites into Jordan's neck. Let's see if Jordan makes a save. He just made that. the save, he meter beated it. So takes an additional 5 points of damage from the poison as it gushes into him. Dropping Jordan to sorry, internal math. I shouldn't be doing that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. He's down to 12 health. Alright. And that's all the spider is doing. And you see no further spider movement down below. Which brings us to Ulrich.
Yeah, I mean, Ulrich says, "Everyone, just get down here." And we're just, if it could get past us and get up there, we're just sitting ducks up there. At least get on the ladder and hurry down. More space to fight. And then continues down 30.
Okay.
Which I think puts him on the ground with room to spare because he had already moved 45.
So you moved 45 and you're moving another 30. You are now on par with the third series of webs where you see that there is a rock and several goblin bodies wrapped in webbing kind of there. You see that the ground is a further 15 feet below that.
Okay, I cut out, so ground's under 15 feet below what?
Below the third layer of web, there's a series of goblin bodies that are piled up at the base of where the ladder meets the third layer, all wrapped in webbing, and a rock that's on top of them. Presumably the one that was dropped earlier.
Okay. Well, he'll have moved that 30. I guess, I mean, he'll use an action to move as a dash if that's possible to get just all the way.
So the third layer of webbing is impassable without it
Oh.
being broken or burned in some way.
Okay, so he can stand on it, and that third layer is where exactly?
Approximately, we're just going to treat the same layer on the second page. So it's approximately, let's see.
I guess if he had 30
75
feet of movement, would he be standing on the layer?
Yes.
Okay, that's what he does.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess how bad is the fire? Like, how quickly is he gonna have to go grab onto that ladder?
The fire is spreading down the rim of the cave on the exterior, so it looks like it's going to be burning the edges of the third layer first. It might even collapse to the ground on its own. But it's not currently burning just yet. Maybe next
Okay.
round?
Well, then, as an action, he's going to take his axe and he's going to keep a foot on the rung and take actually his mace instead of the axe, so he can keep one hand on and a foot on a rung and just kind of beat at the web below his feet. Let's try and
Okay.
clear it.
So the webbing is sticky to the touch when you put your foot on it. It's definitely difficult terrain. You feel that you're going to have a hard time moving on it if you continue moving on it. So keeping one foot on the rung is probably a good idea. And you said, what were you going to do at that point?
I guess see if he can, because he has to keep a hand on the rung as well. He's gonna try and take his mace and smash a hole beneath, where the ladder and the webbing pass through.
Okay. Make a strength check on the web. I guess make an attack. Sorry, that's what you should be doing.
Okay. 14,
Okay,
which is exactly the same roll.
it
So,
is. I noticed that. You damaged the web some. The mace sticks to it some as well, but you managed to break off the web enough that you can bring your mace back.
Okay.
It's definitely not as effective as the fire.
Yeah. Well, that's all he's got. He doesn't have any spell slots, so.
Yep, sounds
That's
good. Roger.
He does convey that up top.
Okay.
The ladder's stuck.
Roger.
I think we're just shooting the spider here. Now that I have a clear shot.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
I'm actually going to use one of my fire arrows for this.
Okay.
And I do have advantage now? Question mark.
You do.
Once more. Good luck. Or good planning. 17. Does that hit?
That is a hit, yes. Go ahead and roll damage as the arrow kind of collides into the spider and starts setting it ablaze in a shriek.
So damage, 10 piercing, and then 6 extra for the sneak attack. And then what do I roll for the fire arrows? Is it just 1d6 fire?
Another 1d6 fire.
So we're going to do that on roll 20.
Just make sure you mark that in your ammunition.
Yep. And 3 fire damage, so a total of 19.
Okay, so after a bit, Jordan in the neck, it kind of reared back and poison is dripping off of its fangs, and it hisses, and you shoot the arrow right into between its fangs into its head, and the head erupts with flame and a hissing sound as it finishes its cry of success/death, and it collapses to the ground in a burning heap. Some of its legs triggered the trap to its left, or to our left, and it hangs into the hole.
Okay.
That's ending combat for now. I will say, as you look around the cavern, Ulrich and Fam inside, you see that there are at least 10 holes peppered throughout this column passage. Cone-like passage, I should say. I'm gonna move to the next... Well, yeah, I'll just move to the next map now that the spider is taken care of. And I can get rid of this spider now.
So it's so the walls are like full of holes of
There's
spaces.
10 larger holes, and then there's smaller holes peppered throughout. It's like a honeycomb almost, but not a honeycomb. You know, like it's not that even. It's lots of small little areas. You know what I mean? Peppered, as I said.
You don't suppose that these holes are full of more spiders, do you?
I guess it's possible. I think we ought to get rid of the web beneath our feet so we can go a little further down and see what this ladder was for. Surely they didn't want to, interact too much with spiders.
Well, if you want me to, I can burn it too.
Jordan, are you doing okay?
He's like panting, and like he looks about as good as Yarvik does, who also looks pretty bad.
Yeah, Yarvik and Jordan, you guys should maybe we should sit down for a little bit once we get to the bottom.
Or we could climb back up, sit down up there where we know it's safe, and just shoot the web a little bit.
Well, I mean, Jordan and Yarvik are already up there, kind of recovering.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. So, I mean, we could do that.
Ulrich, Roger will shout down the thing. Ulrich, can you burn the rest of those webs?
I can't because we didn't take a long rest. I got no web, but Zippo's got some flame.
Woo woo! And then Zippo will just cast create bonfire on like a part of the web.
Could you click create bonfire for me, please? Just so I have it pop up and... I meant like the description. But one duly noted on the 1 damage there. Okay, so you're doing a 5-foot cube down at the base of the ladder, I guess?
We just want to set the webs on fire, right?
Yeah.
So what area are you targeting to, like...
Not where Ulrich is. Maybe like closer to like it's still similarly in the center. I'd say probably about like around in this area, like far enough away that Ulrich won't get burned immediately because I don't know how fast the webs burn, but close enough to where to get rid of the spots on the ladder faster.
Got it. All right. The bonfire actually ignites it and like burns that area, but next round it kind of goes out.
Oh. Well, then I'll just...
It's cantrip. Just do it again.
I just firebolt. It worked.
All right, roll damage for the firebolt.
It is another 1 fire. I give up. Plus my
Those are
genie's
plus
wrath
2.
is it's 3 fire
it's 3.
damage.
All right, the fire actually ignites this time, and it starts to spread. Within a minute, the entire third level has tented or collapsed, centered around the ladder, and it burns up the ladder. Ulrich, you move up about 5 feet to just get away from the fire. As it's burning, you kind of have like a little bit of web still on your foot. It's a little sticky, but otherwise you're free of it.
Sounds good.
Are there any more layers of web below that one?
No. Down below is the ground. You see that there's splattered messes of creatures that were caught in the web and food for the spiders that have splattered to the ground. You see plenty of bones and other things. And curiously, those of you who are down further in the cavern, you see that the blue glow is of blue glowing mushrooms that are blue and light blue spotted.
Do I see any baby spiders that are still running around I can try to save and raise into my own little personal army?
So the spiders that remain have gone into the holes, fleeing the light. You hear distant roars similar to the roars of the large spider that you fought above, down some of those holes.
Better safe than sorry. I'll leave those alone.
Meanwhile, up top, Jordan is going to cast Healing Word on Yarvik. Yarvik, take 5 points of healing. That unfortunately means that I rolled the lowest I could.
I have Cure Wounds, which I can cast on Jordan to see if we can get him back in shape.
He kind of like eases you off before you cast, and he says, "You were hurt more than I was."
Okay. Well, I can't say because it was bad heal anyway.
So 3 heal, 3 more for you.
Okay.
If we are climbing back up at all, Ulrich can give 5 lay on hands.
Yeah, so what is the plan? Do you want to go... Do we want to continue further down? Does everybody want to come back up now that the area is clear?
Are we going back up or are we all coming down?
Is there anything else down there that you can see?
Yeah, that's what Yarvik was going to yell in the hole. Do you see a way out down there?
Ulrich goes down to investigate.
Zippo go with
15
him because he's got dark vision.
Yeah, that's smart. Ulrich will be there
What's
to
that?
help.
What's
if
that
need.
glowing light?
If you ask
Right.
that, Zippo scream, mushrooms of some kind.
Ulrich, you see that there's one singular larger passage down at the bottom where the cavern continues in a northeastern direction.
So one big passage to the northeast.
Yeah, it's like a 5-foot hole, but it's like more like it's a 5 by 10, so like it's higher than it is wide. Whereas the other ones look like burrowed passages from the spiders, this seems more like natural rock formation.
Okay. I mean, clearly a ladder was put down here. You know, either they wanted to harvest mushrooms or they wanted to go down that rock formation. So that's the path that we, you know, holler back up there. There's some sort of path down here.
Hurry on up, or hurry on down, slowpokes. I'm tired of standing on this ladder, or hanging on.
Well, we may as well go down. Roger will. I guess
All right.
leave the spider corpse where it is and go down.
Jaeger, are you going down too? Jorvik?
Yeah, there's not much point in staying up here now that we're kind of healed up as good as we're going to be. So might as well get down to the bottom of the hole.
Out of curiosity, where are you at now?
I am at 14,
Out of
22.
okay. Yeah, so Jordan's a little higher or a little lower. He's at 12. So, but yeah, there wouldn't have been much difference between you and me getting that 3 healing.
Yeah, as soon as everyone gets down, Ulrich can give 4. He'll give 4 health to Jordan. So he's got 1 point of lay on hands to
Save somebody from bleeding out if need be.
yeah.
So it doesn't look like the poison is taking on any more effect than what it was. And for those of you who don't know about normal poison, poison doesn't really come into total effect until you reach 0 because of poison. So fortunately that was not the case, though it was close for probably both Yarvik and Jordan.
You guys looking a little rough. What happened with that spider up there? How did it get the drop on us? I didn't see it come through the hole.
Appeared out of thin air. I've never seen anything like it.
Wow.
It's unusual stuff.
Very.
Does anybody an expert on natural beasties? Might have a gander at what sort of spider that was.
I mean, it sure doesn't sound like a normal spider. Maybe it was going through some sort of phase.
Maybe these mushrooms caused it to do something specific.
Mysterious. Do you think the goblins keep the spiders as pets? Or maybe the spiders keep the goblins as pets? I don't know.
Judging from the goblin cultures, I would say no.
I think
Yeah.
the spiders and goblins are at odds. These deaths look recent. I'm sure the spider would have something that size must have to eat quite a bit.
Yeah.
How much did you heal for lay on hands, Ulrich?
Just 4 points.
4 points each.
Total.
So 4 points per person, or two
No,
two each.
Jordan.
Oh, for Jordan. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
Well, Zippo says, and then he looks at the mushrooms. Like, do they look like they will hurt him if he touches them? Like, they give off like a dangerous smell, I guess.
Make a knowledge nature, so a nature check, and actually Jaeger, make a nature check as well for the spiders.
Zippo got a 21 in his nature.
The spider, okay, so the mushrooms don't look dangerous or not dangerous. They're just kind of there. You've never seen glowing mushrooms like this in your caverns down south. There has been, you've encountered glowing things in the past. Generally, that constitutes maybe something magical, although these seem to be very natural. You're not sure if they have any magical properties or not, or if they're just bioluminescent. Yarvik?
I bet the guy in the store would think they're magical.
I've eaten a lot of mushrooms in my day, but I've never seen any that glow blue.
Correct. You know that the spider was a monstrosity. You've seen large spiders before, but you've only heard stories of spiders that could phase through solid wall. This seems to maybe match that description.
Zippo will pick a handful or two of the mushrooms and put them in his pouch.
I'll also mention that these mushrooms, while some are small, which are the ones that you target, there are some that are the size of your head. There's some that have grown fairly large in size. There are many that are also damaged from the collapse of the web. And the blue mushrooms actually continue down the cave that Ulrich found.
Okay. Well, after Zippo picks the mushrooms, he'll be like, well, is everybody in tip-top shape to go down this cave?
Tip-top might be an exaggeration, but I am up for it. I can take a point on this one.
I'm a little worried the spiders may suddenly appear again, so let's go.
Fair enough. If we're all going, Roger said he'll take first. I might have the second most HP right now until my armor of Agathis runs out, so I can take second.
I can take the lead.
Can I recommend actually that Ulrich brings up the rear in case we're attacked from behind?
Also works.
Keep the damaged folks kind of in the middle of the party where they're the most protected.
Yep, that makes sense.
So that means Belzine will be second to last?
Go fifth. Yeah.
Okay. I just put us in marching order there.
Cool.
Okay. So. Roger, are you doing anything as we are creeping along this 5-foot passage?
What can I see and hear with my dark vision and the torches that I assume that we're carrying for the benefit of those without dark vision?
Give me a perception check, and I will say that the passage both twists and turns. It doesn't follow a straight line like most of the passages you've followed so far. It does not seem to be mined at all. It is a natural cave. Complete with stalactites and mites, some of which you saw stalagmites within the bottom of the cavern where the mushrooms were. With a perception, you hear, as you travel along, it just seems like a general roar. Like, not roar of a lion, but just like you hear sound, just like distant sound. And as we continue along, the sound gets louder and becomes more distinct. As voices, many voices, none of which you understand any words from, but you hear voices further down the passage. And by further down the passage, I mean it seems like many voices are echoing down it. So it's all very intangible.
Hard to determine direction, I guess, from all the twisting.
from your twisting and turning, let's say with your sense of direction, Zippo, since you've been in caverns in the past, you've grown up your whole life underground. You can attest that it's probably you're going due north most of the way.
I am actually going to stop the party here and pull a goblin.
And pull what?
Pull the goblin hand out of my pack.
Okay.
Since that seems to react every time goblins speak something.
You tug it free of the bag that it had closed around once more. It looks just like the normal fist it usually is.
Okay, I am going to actually hold that
Okay.
out as we walk forward. And I'll glance down at it every so often, see if it's doing something.
The blue mushrooms, as you continue north, northeast, north again, double back as the passage twists and turns, and seems to be going downward at a gentle rate. It's not like sudden drops or anything like that, but you get the sense that you're going downward. You feel like there's also kind of a rush of air traveling back the way you came. Every once in a while, you smell smells of meat, warm meat, that cooked meat. The voices grow louder and more numerous and cacophonous, and maybe also more distinct, but nothing that you understand. Belzian, on the other hand, you recognize that it's Goblin being spoken, but it's mostly chatter, like all the voices are kind of talking over each other, so it's hard to really understand anything that's being said.
Just a muddled mess.
Yes.
Any reaction from the mummified goblin hand?
Not at the moment.
Gotcha. I'm going to assume that there's enough enemies down there to spark approach, so we can probably move up safely as a group.
Okay.
I'm gonna go out a little bit further ahead of the party, like maybe 15 feet ahead, just so that in case one of us pops into view, not all of us pops into view.
As you travel further down, you notice that every once in a while there's small holes that kind of branch out from this one, going both north and south as the tunnel starts going dewish east, and now those holes look more like they're mined. And you see that there is the glow of light, not the blue light but more reddish, yellowish light, and that seems to be where the noises are, the goblin voices are coming from. At this point, the sound is louder than the waterfall would have been in the main chamber that you were in before. So a little bit more deafening as it's echoing against the walls of this small passage.
How big are these like side passages?
They're for small creatures.
Okay, so not something that we would get confused at.
It's not like branching paths where we're allowed to ask the question, which one do you want to go down?
Gotcha.
You could send Zippo down one, but they don't seem to be for sized people of your type.
Gotcha. Well, Zippo, do you want to investigate some of these little passages, or should we assume that all of the goblins are at whatever this incredibly noisy gathering is?
I would say it's safe to assume that, but if you guys want me to look down a couple, I don't mind to. I will leave it up to the party. But if I find treasure, I'm probably going to keep it.
Yeah. The thing that I'm worried about is having goblins behind us. Should we need to retreat?
Understandable.
Or having someone alert them to our presence.
Yeah, because if I go down one and there's a bunch, then they would kind of know, hey, something's here, and they could scream and alert the rest of the party. But yeah, I'll do whatever. I would say, assuming that this big gathering's going on, and the fact that we've walked past a couple so far and nothing's really, shaking them, I would say they're probably empty. But
That's probably a fair assumption.
and I'm not trying to point fingers as he points at Ulrich. Some of us aren't that quiet.
Yeah, well, I try.
It's okay, bud.
All right, let's press on. I'll still keep a little bit ahead of the party.
Okay. The light gets brighter, and you see that you can see the light now. You see that a large cavern is you see the opening basically of this passage into a large cavern. You can't see into it from where you are because of the twist and narrowness of the cave. I'm saying it here because you're further ahead. Do you wish to investigate the opening of the cavern or wait for the group and have them hold, or investigate yourself and have them hold back, or wait for the group?
So is this does it sound like we're above them or like on the same level as them? Or is it too loud to tell?
It's fairly loud. They seem adjacent, but I mean, you could probably tell more if you got closer. You can always stealth and take a look.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of motion for the party to stop. Gesture at myself in the direction of the opening, and stealth up and take a look.
All right. Roll a stealth check for me. Oh, you did. 21. Okay, awesome.
Sneaky.
All right. Just setting something up. I have your character on this next map. I just don't have the dynamic lighting set up. For your vision. All right. Okay, so everybody else should just be seeing a gray area with a wall, right?
Yep.
I don't even see that. I just see black.
Yeah, likewise.
Okay, perfect. That's fine. Roger, on the other hand, you can see, correct?
Yes.
So what Roger sees, and I'll bring you guys into it just so. Well, you know what? I'll just keep it what Roger sees for the moment. Roger, what do you see?
I'm not shouting things out to the party.
Yes. So what Roger sees is a gigantic cavern, hundreds and hundreds of feet wide, and going up for quite a while. This seems to be the grand hall of the goblins. There are hundreds of goblins in this room, seated around tables, clamoring, being served. There seems to be some sort of celebration going on. Lanterns sit on many of the tables, illuminating the area. And to the south, a scaffolding stretching all the way up to the top of the cavern, where there are several doors and some more lights as well. The area up top is also ringed by what seems to be torches illuminating the top of the cavern, where there are great stalactites reaching down. Amethyst, you also see that there is a goblin along the walk close to you that has not spotted you, seemingly keeping guard over the area. There are several other goblins keeping guard at various other points in the area. On the far eastern side of the passage, you can see lit up, sitting in all of his glory, what appears to be Auric, a large goblin sitting on a minecart that has been made into a throne with pieces of rail fused to it to make a seat backing in an ornate pattern. It's crude, but oddly beautiful.
Interesting.
And just to bring everybody up to speed, I think if I turn vision on, you'll be able to see at least what's lit up. Is that correct?
No, don't. Oh, now I do.
Huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
So you guys don't see.
I don't
Yeah,
see anything.
Cool.
I just
we
see darkness.
I see this area here.
Yeah. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'll bring you guys into the room, but you're not actually there,
Oh,
just so
okay.
you can see. Does that
Okay.
help?
Cool. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty easy fight.
So thus far,
No
Amethyst, you are unspotted, but as you're watching over the festivities, Ulrich slams his mug 3 times. Make a perception check for me.
Just to say, I don't see anything yet, but I got the stream open now since I couldn't see anything, so I see what's happening.
I got you, Zippo.
13.
You might. That's weird. Control L.
Yeah, I see now.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, your goblin hand is now it now reacts as you got approached the cavern itself, as you approached and got close to the goblin that's there within 60 feet of this goblin. The middle finger rose up uncovering a compass inside. A simple traveler's compass. It does not point due north. It points directly at the goblin that you've snuck up on.
Interesting. So Oric has just slammed his mug 3 times.
As he does so, the room falls silent, as if he's about to make a great speech. And that's where we're going to leave the session.
There goes my chance to kill the guard. And nobody noticed.
I paused for a moment. All right,
It's all
guys.
good. Roger totally would have waited.
So that's where I'm going to leave the session off for tonight. So next session we'll pick up right here with, I guess, Oric speaking. Of course, it's not going to mean anything to Roger. So...
Double seems to understand it, I'm sure.
Oh, I wonder if Roger found anything up ahead. Oh well.
Wait, this isn't one of those groups of people who speak a language that isn't their own native tongue for convenience sake?
Yeah, don't they speak common just as a courtesy?
I mean, Belzigan should be able to hear it from here, assuming Oric's being anywhere near loud enough.
Yes, he should.
If Belzian disappears for some reason, do you have the speech prepared in Goblin?
I do.
That'd be pretty cool.
Can we get you to read it in Goblin in common?
What was that?
Are you telling me that these goblins aren't speaking Draconic out of common courtesy? Hello?
No, nope. Unfortunately not.
Dang.
They've never met any dragons. Why would they know Draconic?
That's a fair choice, I guess. That's a fair point.
So I'll leave this campaign session off with the several hundred goblins seated before you. Thanks, guys, for joining us here on the channel. We'll see you in 2 weeks, which will be what? The
6th. Sorry. No, wait, that's next week. Sorry. My
So
math is
it's-
all kinds of wrong.
If tomorrow is the 30th, that means it'll be the 13th.
There.
Tuesday the
I did
13th.
math right.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. Have a good night.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Bye.
playing.